Welcome back to Hobby Jogger Elite, and welcome to my personal unbiased review of one of Adidas's most fun shoes in recent memory, in my humble opinion. That is, of course, the Adidas Adizero Takumi Sen 9. This is a shoe that I've had for quite some time at this point, at least bordering on 6 months, I think. And although I haven't put an absolute ton of miles into the shoe, and I will definitely get into the reasons why I haven't put a ton of miles into the shoe, when I have decided to lace them up, I've had quite a bit of fun doing so. Whether it has been workouts or even racing, this shoe has proven capable of tackling a number of different tasks in a pretty amazing, unique ride. So we're gonna break everything down when it comes to the Adidas Takumi Sen 9, talk about some of the numbers, the features of this shoe, how it fits into the Adidas lineup, compare it to some other shoes, including some Adidas shoes in that Adizero lineup, and then finally talk about whether I would recommend it to you based on its functions, as well as some upcoming shoe releases. So to start off with my personal pair of the Adidas Adizero Takumi Sen 9, I put in 58 miles into this shoe. If you followed along with this channel, if you followed along with other shoe reviews in the past, if you follow along on my Strava, which is linked down below, and you take a look at my shoes, this is one of the pairs of shoes that has the least amount of miles on that I currently own. I can't exactly pinpoint why I only have 58 miles on this shoe when I enjoy running in it as much as I do. I would say this is a pretty aggressive shoe compared to the other Adidas shoes I've tried, such as the Adidas Adizero Adios Pro 3, for instance, where this shoe is really stripped down compared to that. It has a textile upper, which is flexible, does well at sort of conforming to and wrapping around different foot sizes, I would say. I have a fairly wide foot, not a super wide foot, closer to average than ever needing like wide width shoes when it comes to sizing. And it is definitely narrow compared to other shoes, but I don't feel uncomfortable in these shoes. Moving to the midsole, it has that Light Strike Pro premium super shoe foam from Adidas, which is absolutely awesome. I love seeing this foam used in more shoes because it is frankly one of my absolute favorite foams out there on the running shoe market. And in that midsole, we have a 6mm drop. So it goes from 33 millimeters in the heel down to 27 millimeters in the forefoot, which is markedly smaller in terms of stack height from the Adios Pro 3, but not like a super low profile shoe, though it may be considered so in today's market and wide range of super shoes and race shoes out there. One thing that sets it apart though from other super shoes, other race shoes, is that it doesn't actually have a carbon fiber plate in here. It does have those energy rods that we have grown very used to when it comes to Adidas super shoes, but they are glass fiber infused and they are meant to reduce energy loss. So it has a similar effect to what is going on in the Adios Pro, what is going on with carbon plated shoes, for instance. It's just a bit less aggressive, a bit more flexible, I would say, akin to like nylon plates that we see in the Endorphin Speed, for instance, from Saucony. Moving to the outsole, it does have that tried and true Continental rubber. I've run in this in absolutely monsoon-like conditions, and it has held up super well because it is so lightweight, being only in a UK size 8.5 or a US men's size 9. 181 grams, around 6.3 ounces, along with that very grippy outsole. Doesn't retain a ton of water, and it is just like a very sharp, straight to the point type of shoe. It also contains a minimum of 50% recycled material in the upper. So if you want a light shoe, if you want a grippy shoe that you can work out in, that you can race in, that is plenty capable at a number of different instances, that is also very environmentally friendly, this may very well be the shoe for you. So besides those specs and features, when it comes to this shoe, I've mostly used it in the context of workouts, and obviously those have mostly been speed workouts at, I would say, faster than threshold. So if you're unfamiliar with different sort of like speed thresholds, when I say threshold, I pretty much mean everything from 10K race pace and faster. That is where this shoe is mostly shining for me. And despite its I guess we could say, less aggressive nature, not having a full-length carbon fiber plate or really any carbon in the shoe at all. It still feels pretty aggressive when it comes to its makeup, and I think it feels a bit lower to the ground than it actually is. And if you're looking for an Adidas super shoe-esque type of running shoe that gives you that aggressive feel, that propulsive, lightweight running experience that really just enlivens every single step when you are running at those top end speeds, that is where this shoe is going to shine. And that's where it does shine for me. But I would theorize that its low mileage nature in my shoe rotation has been because I have been training for marathons quite a bit as of late. And most of the quote unquote speed work that I do for those marathons are at 10K race pace or maybe half marathon race pace up to goal marathon pace. So I have been primarily operating in that range when it comes to my workouts, which may be the reason why I use this a lot. When I'm back in the summer, I was training for 5Ks and then sort of shelved it in recent months after I moved to the marathon distance a bit more with my training. But that's not to say that I can't handle some of those threshold and slower than threshold paces. I have used this in workouts that have been primarily threshold based, 14, 15 mile workouts with anywhere from 5 to 8 miles at threshold, whether those were mile repeats, 2-mile repeats, 3-mile repeats at those paces. And again, it was very, very comfortable and it went the distance for the most part. I would say that after those workouts, when I would use this shoe as opposed to say something like the Adios Pro 3 or the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3 or the Speed 3, I would feel the soreness in my calves, maybe in my Achilles area, generally my lower leg a little bit more. So if you are going to take this to distance, which people definitely have, there have been near world record setting performances in the half marathon in this shoe from Adidas athletes, big time races at that half marathon distance, in a shoe that I would probably not reach first for at the half marathon distance and above. It can still get the job done at that distance, but you definitely have to make sure that you have the lower leg strength to sort of supplement that sort of use case. Besides that, because of its sort of firmer than normal super shoe foam that is Light Strike Pro, which I wouldn't say is firm compared to all foams in shoes we see. I still think it is compliant to a certain extent, but when we compare it to things like Zoom X, for instance, like Saucony's super foams, and some of these other very plush foams that we see from New Balance, for instance, it is a bit on the firmer side, and with it being a slightly lower stack, this is a very stable ride that, again, I would say super wide feet should definitely stay away from, but can fit most people's feet quite comfortably, I would think. Now, when compared to the rest of Adidas's shoe lineup and what they're sort of offering, another reason potentially why I haven't put a ton of mileage on this is because I do have a pair of Adidas Adios Pro 3s, and I have just found those to be more comfortable and just as capable at pretty much every distance, every pace intensity as the Takumi Sen 9. The saving grace with the Takumi Sen 9 when stacked up against the Adios Pro 3 is, of course, the price point. It is quite a bit cheaper, although both those models have been on discount quite a bit as of late. And I would say that is possibly one reason why this shoe may be preferable if you are trying to save a little bit of money and you're not doing a ton of long distance races. I think if you're more of a short distance runner who wants a solid workout shoe that can still even reach double-digit mile distances on those workout days, this shoe can get the job done for you. But let's say you are somebody who has other super shoes or higher stack options that are solid speed day shoes. I'm not sure this shoe will be completely necessary for you, as I don't know if it's been entirely necessary for me. Again, I have raced a 5K PB of my own in this and have done workouts while training for 5Ks up to the marathon in it, but it seems a little bit redundant and not entirely needed in my current shoe rotation. So I would see where your needs are in your shoe rotation and sort of proceed based on that. But if you're interested in the Takumi Sen 9 or the Takumi Sen series in general, it looks like they are sort of sticking to what has worked with this shoe. So you may have seen different images up online, rumors about the Takumi Sen 10, for instance, which probably will be coming out here in 2024 in not a ton of time. Based on images of the Takumi Sen 10, it is pretty much maintaining all of the same elements that we see in the Takumi Sen 9, with some maybe minor changes to the way that the rubber is configured over these glass fiber rods, as well as some other rubber related outsole design and a little bit of change and some alterations to the upper itself. But overall, it seems like it is sticking to what has worked from when they did a pretty much complete revamp of the Takumi Sen 8 up to the Takumi Sen 9 and now through the Takumi Sen 10, which I would say if you can get these on a discount or even a pair of the Takumi Sen 8 on an even steeper discount, I would just settle for that because it looks like they are pretty much, again, just maintaining those core elements of this shoe, which, again, at its core is a workout shoe, maybe even a 5K, 10K, if you're brave, half marathon race shoe that is very lightweight compared to most super shoes out there and is a bit lower to the ground than most. I think those are my complete thoughts and everything I have to say about the Takumi Sen 9. It is a shoe that is a bit of a paradox for me in my running shoe rotation. A shoe that I enjoy running in, but I don't find myself reaching for in a ton of situations. Is this a shoe that has operated similarly for you, or am I just crazy? Let me know either way down in the comments below. Let me know if you have run in any of the Takumi Sen shoes, if you're looking forward to the release of the 10th iteration in 2024, or anything else on your mind down in the comments below. Otherwise, that's everything I have. So we'll catch up soon. Peace.